Yeah, I need a haircut. What is up, guys? This is Mega Man Sci-Fi here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing another book rant. I know I've been doing a lot of book rants lately, but at the same time I haven't been making many videos lately, mainly because of school, because this week is finals week for me. Woo! But honestly, the finals week hasn't been stressing me out like it has been for the last 2 years, but maybe it's because I've gotten used to it, but oh well. And I'm taking my hardest classes I've ever taken this year, so I'm just accepting fate. But anyway, enough of my academic life. What am I, from the Secret History or something? But I'm going to be doing a book rant. I don't know what number it is. Don't ask me. I'm going to check later while I'm editing. And hopefully it'll be in the title. If I get the title wrong, oh well. Mistakes are made. I'm just going to hop right into it. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so much like normal, I'm going to talk about the books that I read first, and then the books I'm currently reading, and the books I'm going to read, just like any other book rant video of mine. So first, let's get into it. Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. Loads of people are raving about this book lately, and at first I really liked it, but that was like the first 100 pages. Then it got boring, that's not my snapping hand, like that. This book got insanely boring really quickly, which is strange because there's loads of great ideas put into this, but this is definitely a book that has better ideas than it does in execution. I think the execution, especially in the last 2/3, are extremely poor, to the point where I had to give this a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, even though I really like the beginning of this book, I would not recommend it. There's an airplane crash, a police investigation, and like a financial thing that's going on, and there's also a kidnap story that goes behind it, and it all falls flat. I don't think any book I've read this past month or so has wasted that much potential. So I'm incredibly disappointed with the Before the Fall. It just wasn't that good, guys. It wasn't that good. Okay, I'm gonna be embarrassed now because I used to call this the worst book I read all year, and now, back in January, I called this the worst book I've read all year, but then I gave it another shot, and what do you know? I gave it a 4 out of 5. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. This guy, this human being, he is... Why didn't I like this my first try? Maybe it was because, I know the reason. I was going way too fast. I read way too fast. I read this book in an hour and a half last time, but then I took time with it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And in fact, the theme for today is that I'm not getting back, because I'm getting into really the first time, I'm getting into science fiction. I'm not going to go into YA sci-fi because I tried that, and that was pretty bad, but classic sci-fi and adult sci-fi really interests me, especially with this next series. But first I want to praise Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. The only thing that I didn't really like about this book was its ending, but even then, it was just okay. It just could have had a better conclusion, but the execution beforehand, the ideas that Phil K. Dick just puts into this book, his characters, especially the two androids that we follow in kind of this colliding storyline. One of them is called Aesop, how do you pronounce it? But hold on, I'm gonna search it up so I can pronounce it correctly. I'm gonna forget it. And another little girl named Pris. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a fantastically written book. I thought its ending could have been a little stronger. I thought the characters were great. And I thought the story was great up until the ending. And even the ending was just okay. So I highly recommend this book now. It's fantastic. And I'm definitely going to be reading more Philip K. Dick. That is until I got into this series. I was immediately going to read The Man in the High Castle like that. But I wanted to give another series a shot. I wanted to give a science fiction series a shot. And I have The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. You'll see later in the haul. But first, I gotta talk about this. Old Man's War by John Scalzi. Oh my god. Not since The Sandman have I read a series that I've been this addicted to. You see these two books? Read them in 3 days. Read them in 3 days. I haven't done that in so long. And then I've already put my bookmark in for The Last Colony, which is the third book. I got the box set for like $15 on Amazon, which is an amazing deal, which means I practically got these books. Sure, there's mass market paperbacks, but really this is the only affordable way you can get these books. But they're phenomenal. This is the story. They have different storylines, but they all center around this one like government, like this military base called the, not military base, but like this military organization called the CDF, and it's pretty much humanity trying to expand into the universe and them trying to like colonize, and it's wonderful. This first book centers around a man named John Perry, who's an old man who gets transported into a new body, and he enrolls into the military and into the CDF, and then gets a new body. But it has such strange ideas that it works. There's like the new body technique. They have these things called brain pals, which is pretty much artificial intelligence in your mind. And then there's the Ghost Brigades, which is actually centered around different characters. There's only one character that's similar between these two books, and it was, and the character that was in Old Man's War, that's also in the Ghost Brigades, isn't the biggest character in Old Man's War, but she's really big in the Ghost Brigades. And this one is about betrayal story of the CDF and how they clone the traitor into a body so they can, in order for them to catch the traitor, and it's so well done. These two books are some of the best sci-fi material I've ever read. They're truly wonderful, and if they leech onto me with time, I'm bumping them up to a 5 out of 5. So Old Man's War is fantastic. I haven't read and so is the Ghost Brigades. Haven't read The Last Colony yet, so I'm excited for that. But anyway, the Old Man's War series, it's fantastic, and I'm so glad I still have 4 books to read from it. Alright, now I'm getting on to currently reading, and that is Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare and A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. These are 2 plays. Of course, Tennessee Williams and William Shakespeare are probably 2 of the most well-known playwrights of all time, especially Shakespeare. And I haven't started A Streetcar Named Desire yet. I'm about halfway through Much Ado About Nothing. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's not my favorite Shakespeare, but you know, it's like 3.5 out of 5 quality, so yeah, I'm liking that play so far. And like I said, I haven't started A Streetcar Named Desire, though this is definitely one I'm really interested in. So yeah. And I've read The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, and I thought it was okay, but this one sounds even better. So yeah. Alright, here it is. Philip K. Dick's The Man in the High Castle. This is about, like, if America... This is like one of those what-if situations, and it's like if America was captured by the Nazis. That's pretty much the premise of the book. If the Nazis won World War II and they captured America. That's pretty much what this book is. So, I really have nothing else to say. I like Philip K. Dick from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, so yeah. Oh my god, just like make room already, seriously. The next book I'm going to be reading is something that's both, I'm really excited to read, but I'm also kind of terrified to read. And that is The Princess Bride by William Goldman. William Goldman, I heard William Goldman's Princess Bride is much, much different from the movie version, which I personally love. But its table of contents are weird as well. It's like, there's like, The Princess Bride goes up to like page 319, and there's like these 2 epilogues called like Buttercup's Baby. I don't know what this book is up with, but of course I know what it's about. I practically know the majority of the story, but I've heard this book is very, very different from the movie. So I'm both excited yet terrified to go into this book because it could either make me appreciate the movie much more or ruin the movie for me. So I don't know. The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I'm excited to read it. Like, there's no space for me. All right, the next book that I have is this is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. It's an incredibly famous book. Obviously, they just made a movie out of it. What I've heard about this book is meh. And I want to see if it's any good, but I bet it's going to be meh. I don't know. I really should be more enthusiastic about this book because it's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's a really famous book. It has some really neat photography in here. But at the same time, the story, the premise is... So... I don't know. I guess. Alright, the next book that I have is The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler. This is a really short noir detective book that I found at my school library. And I've heard of this book. I've heard of this book. It's not as well known as or at least to me, it's not as well known as The Maltese Falcon. But, and I haven't even read the Maltese Falcon or seen the movie, but The Big Sleep sounds good. I just don't know. I just know what the Maltese Falcon is about, and I don't know anything about this. So I thought I'd give this one a shot first. So, yeah. And then the final book that I'm going to be reading. You know what? I'm moving these books over here. Forget this. Dune by Frank Herbert. If I'm getting into sci-fi, there's no reason why I shouldn't read what may be considered the greatest sci-fi book of all time. Dune is trippy. That's what I've heard. I've actually read the first 100 pages of this, but I didn't like it, but that was back when I was really into classics and only strictly into classics. So I'm going to give it another shot since now I'm getting into sci-fi. I've heard this book is absolutely fantastic, yet I've heard to stay away from the sequels for the life of me. But Dune, it sounds weird, and it sounds completely up my alley, so I don't know much about it. All I know is that there's like this sand planet, and there's giant worms in the suit that regenerates moisture or something. I don't know. Dune! So that was the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below on what you guys thought about this video. And as always, I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.